right. Welcome everyone to the Millbrae Planning Commission special meeting of February 19th, 2025. Can we do a roll call of all the commissioners?
Commissioner Quigg, Commissioner Choi,
Here.
Commissioner Wong,
Present.
Vice Chair Davis,
Here.
Chair Chan.
Present.
All planning commissioners are present.
Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is the land acknowledgement statement. The Millbrae Planning Commission acknowledges that we occupy the unceded ancestral, traditional, and contemporary homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. First on the agenda is the agenda review. We have one set of minutes and one public hearing item, it looks like. Any comments from staff or the commission on the agenda? Okay, moving on. We then have the approval of the meeting minutes for February 3rd, 2025. Any comments on the draft minutes? Yes, Commissioner Choi.
So I'm looking at the staff update on the cloud permit. There's a bullet that kind of suggests what it is, but I remember we had a more lengthy conversation about the timeline, or I think it's the how and what's happening to it, right? So I think if we could add that to the update, that'll be great. Thanks.
Would you like us to bring it back for next time?
I'm indifferent on that.
I think we could wait until the next meeting to pass the minutes then, since we want to make sure the content is the level of detail meets the request. Thanks. Okay, moving on, we have public communication. This is time reserved on our agenda for members of the public to address the commission on items that are not on today's agenda. Any speaker slips or hands raised on Zoom?
There are none.
Okay. Moving on to the public hearing then. 211 Willow Avenue. This is a public hearing on a design review permit to allow a 180 square foot addition to an existing second story with an interior remodel, resulting in a total proposed floor area of 2,970 square feet, and a conditional use permit application to extend the existing non-conforming upper story side setback in the single family residential R1 zoning district. Staff, do you have a presentation?
Yes, good evening, Chair Chan and members of the Planning Commission. Jennifer Lim, Assistant Planner with the City of Millbrae. And tonight I will be presenting the project at 211 Willow Avenue. So this is a public hearing on a design review permit application to allow a 180 square foot addition to an existing second story with an interior remodel, resulting in a total proposed floor area of 2,970 square feet, and a conditional use permit application to allow the extension of the existing non-conforming upper story side setbacks in the single-family residential R1 zoning district. So this map shows the project's location. The project is located in the Millbrae Highlands neighborhood. This project is located in the R1 single-family zone. It's an interior lot about 5,400 square feet. The existing single-family residence is 2 stories, about 3,496 square feet, and the project proposal is for the construction of a 180 square foot second story addition with an interior remodel to an existing 2-story single-family residence. So this is the existing site plan. The existing home is 2 stories, however, it lacks upper floor side setbacks. The second floor addition is located in the rear as shown in the shaded area. The front yard landscaping and rear yard open space requirements will be met, and a street tree will be planted in the landscape strip in front of the house. The proposed first floor includes a bathroom and an attached oversized one-car garage. It also includes space for a future attached accessory dwelling unit, which is about 668 square feet and contains 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a kitchen. The proposed second floor includes 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a kitchen, dining room, living room, and a family room. So here's the proposed front elevation. The proposed residence is a 2-story Spanish Mediterranean style home featuring a textured cream color stucco. The existing Spanish Mediterranean style front window, existing Juliet balcony, and terracotta roof will remain. And these are similar architectural features that are found throughout this neighborhood. Here's the proposed left side elevation. The existing upper story left side setback is not met, so the proposed project is extending the existing non-conforming setback, which will require a conditional use permit. The existing upper story right side setback is also not being met, so the proposed project is extending this existing non-conforming upper floor side setback, which will require a conditional use permit. The building height will remain the same at 22 feet and 6 inches. As shown on the proposed left and right side elevations, the proposed addition is extending the existing non-conforming upper floor side setbacks on both sides, therefore requiring the conditional use permit. So in order to meet the upper story side setback requirements, the proposed upper floor would need to have a minimum 7-foot side setback on both the left and right sides. However, the existing home and surrounding homes in the neighborhood lack upper story side setbacks, so allowing the conditional use permit will be in keeping with and maintaining a similar design with the properties in the neighborhood. So here's the proposed 3D rendering. The proposed project will enhance the existing features of the home. A total of 7 adjacent owner consultation forms were sent out to the adjacent neighbors. 2 of those forms were returned in support of the project, and 5 forms were unreturned. So this map shows the project location highlighted in blue and the surrounding neighboring properties in red. The neighbor to the left at 201 Willow and the neighbor in the rear at 220 Poplar were the 2 forms that were returned in support of this project. So in order to approve the design review permit, the Planning Commission must make the following findings. Number 1, the architectural, landscaping, and general appearance of the proposed building or structure and grounds are in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. Number 2, the proposed project complies with all applicable development regulations. Number 3, the project will not cause a significant visual impact to neighboring views from principal rooms of a residence. And 4, the proposal is not detrimental to the orderly, harmonious, and safe development of the city and will not impair the desirability of investment or occupation in the neighborhood in which the building or structure is proposed to be erected. In order to approve the conditional use permit, Planning Commission must also make the following findings. Number 1, the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the use applied for will not under the circumstances of the particular case be detrimental to the health, safety, morals, comfort, and general welfare of the persons residing or working in the neighborhood of such proposed use. And 2, the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the use applied for will not under the circumstances of the particular case be detrimental to the property and improvements in the neighborhood of such proposed use. The staff recommends that the Planning Commission receive the presentation, review the project, consider the public testimony, and approve a design review permit application to allow a 180 square foot addition to an existing 2nd story with an interior remodel resulting in a total proposed floor area of 2,970 square feet in a conditional use permit application to extend the existing nonconforming upper story side setbacks in the single-family residential R1 zoning district. So staff and the applicant are available to answer any questions.
Thank you, staff. Any questions from the commission? Yes, oh, sorry. Yeah, Commissioner Wong. You had a question? Oh, okay. Commissioner Quigg then.
On page 3 of 10, it shows a two-car garage. However, did they expand what was there? Because the garage door doesn't appear to be a two-car garage.
Yeah, so the proposed project includes a oversized one-car garage. The proposed garage is 507 square feet, which exceeds the minimum required 400 square foot garage. So we're considering it a oversized one-car garage due to the feasibility of parking a second car there.
So it easily, two cars can park in there? With that 500 square feet?
No, it wouldn't practically be feasible, but because there's only one vehicle could only realistically be parked there without having undue challenges, we're considering it a oversized one-car garage, which they're maintaining.
Yeah, because I've seen these oversized
Mhm.
because of what's underneath there. But it's a little deceiving when you see this.
Yeah, I think the applicant just tried to show that the garage is large enough to fit two cars, but from a zoning perspective, practically speaking, we would consider it an oversized one-car garage.
Okay, but could you park two cars in there easily? I mean, could you park two cars there? I
Not-
know it's oversized, but it's not tandem. If it had been tandem, I could understand it. I just want it to reflect correctly.
Wait, could you park two minis? Yes, probably two minis would park in, and technically a mini would be a vehicle. So technically, yes. However, the minimum parking space dimensions in our code is 10 by 20. They're showing that they can fit 10 by 20, but can you fit 10 by 20 and maneuver a 10 by 20 vehicle in those two spaces now?
But to be clear, the requirement for zoning is only one car, one enclosed car, garage space, correct? For
No,
this
two.
project? Oh, it's two.
Two. It's an existing condition, existing non-conforming condition.
Oh. Because the report indicates a requirement of one garage space. Is that a, Type.
We're not going to require two-car garage.
gotcha,
Two-car garage. Because it's an existing.
existing, gotcha, okay.
Well, then, quite honestly, I think that page 3 of 10 should be corrected. You can show the space, but not with two cars.
Yeah, that's just the graphic from the
Yeah.
plans. I mean,
But
Yeah.
it really shouldn't be, because it took me a few minutes to figure it out. I mean, I did eventually figure it out on my own, but
Right.
I kept saying, it's an oversized one-car garage, but yet they're showing two cars there. So, I think it should only show one car.
Noted.
Any other questions from the commission? Okay, Commissioner Wong.
Okay, from the staff report, I'm looking at the setbacks, and it would be good to either clarify or correct, if necessary, some of the setback distances. So I'm looking at drawings A3 and A4, the existing site plan and the proposed site plan. And for example, two items. One is the rear setback. So on the existing plan, it calls out 47 feet 2 inches and 33 feet 8 inches from various parts of the rear of the house to the fence. And then on A4, it reduces both of those numbers to 42 feet 11 inches and then 27.8. So the staff report says no change from 47.2 to 47.2. Might be good to clarify or correct that. And then also the right side setback. Again, the first floor, it says that the right side, first floor, 3 foot 6 inch existing, and the proposed is 4 foot 6 inches. So that means it would change and the line of the house, which doesn't appear to be the case. So A3 and A4, check that again. Looks like there's no change, 3 foot 6 to the side fence on the right side. So staff may want to clarify or correct if necessary.
Correct, those changes are noted by staff.
Any questions from Commissioner Choi or Vice Chair Davis?
I have a quick question on the color of the garage door. It says existing garage door remains. Do you know what color that is?
I think it's there.
There's a sample for the front door.
There was a picture in the staff presentation of the existing house. If you want, staff, could you bring that up maybe for Commissioner Choi?
And is the idea to repaint in kind?
I would think so.
Okay.
I don't know, but I would think so. I think what their meaning is that the
Just,
shape is going to remain the same, not the color.
The applicants here could clarify that.
okay, if we can clarify that, that'd be great, thanks.
So I have any other questions, Commissioner Choi? Okay. Oh, sorry, Commissioner Wong.
Also, the existing home, it appears to have a lot of brick facade and including a chimney, stone chimney. But the rendering and the proposed design, which is showing right now, it appears that that will be covered. Is that correct?
Well, they say they're going to remove
Yeah, the existing stone around the front and the chimney will be removed, so it'll all be textured stucco.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question about the landscaping in the front. So on Street View, I can see that there's a sign there, a parking sign, like the parking regulation sign. Is that good sign going to be taken out permanently, or are we going to replace it, but just in the strip?
The existing sign will remain.
Okay. And then, just on our last commission meeting, we had we handled we had to consider an exception request to allow the maintaining of a non-conforming one-car garage. And so it is the only reason that we're not considering an exception request this time around is because the code says it has to be this many square feet to meet the standard for a 2-car garage, and they met that square footage minimum.
Almost. That project, a request of the exception was virtually tear down, rebuild. I mean, more than 50% of the house was being rebuilt, and this is a very minor addition. So because of that threshold, this project didn't need to request the exception.
Thanks. Any other questions from the commission? Would the applicant like to make any comment or say anything about their project? Okay. Oh,
Hello, everyone. My name is Samuel. I'm the designer for this project. So for the garage door, we're thinking of repainting it, but keeping the existing door.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I think the painting sample is provided.
Can you also clarify if the existing chimney, is that to remain, because the rendering doesn't have that, but on the drawings, it says that it's to remain also? And then if you're going to redo the facade of the house with the stone,
Yeah, the stones would be removed.
What about the fireplace?
about the chimney
Same. Yeah.
removed?
I thought I read.
Thank you. It's in the drawing, so.
any other questions for the applicant? Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
Commissioner Quigg.
Also, on that rendering, on that page, it would be good for you to remove the second car.
Sorry, second corner.
I don't know if this is the point to bring this up at or not, but on page 3 of 10, you actually show 2 cars. And it's really an oversized 1-car garage.
Okay,
So it really shouldn't show 2 cars. Anybody going through this it's not going to read everything, is going to say, oh, it's a 2-car garage.
okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So the public hearing is now open. Are there any comments from the public or hands raised on Zoom, speaker slips?
No hands raised and no speaker slips.
Okay. Are there any objections to closing public comment?
No.
Okay. All right, then public comment is closed.
We have to vote.
What?
Do we vote?
Oh, well,
Oh.
we're,
Okay.
in the interest of moving things along, I've been asking for objections for these sorts of motions. Okay. So any other comments or concluding discussion
So where
from the
is this
commission?
one to?
Anything?
I mean, I'll just say that it's a modest addition. It's fairly easy to see that. I have no problem with positively recommending all the findings that's cast before me on this particular project. I do have maybe it's more a question for staff on the rendering. I'm used to seeing renderings that show more context, whether it's, and I don't think, single family home needs to model and render every neighborhood home, but if it's masked with the existing photo, I think that would help. I think in this case, I think the rendering is actually doing a disservice to this particular project. I think if we could, I don't know if it can be required, but if we could recommend or urge future applicants to place the rendering or perspectives on an existing photo, that would be very helpful.
So what I'm hearing is that you're suggesting that the applicants in the future provide more renderings that are more realistic in the context, showing the existing houses on the sides or whatever is,
I think
not the whole house, but whatever can fit in that.
future applicants, I think it's important to show that context, whether the rendering's stylistic or not. And I agree with Commissioner Quigg about the clarity on the one-car oversized garage. I think that's important to clarify both in the staff report on what's required and what's approved, as well as graphically showing if it's if that's all the applicant needs to meet, then showing a one-car silhouette would be perfectly acceptable.
Any other comments from the commission? Oh, yeah, Commissioner Wong.
I think this is great. No opposition from the neighbors. Looks like the designer did his due diligence and added another privacy study with the window alignments. And there's updates to the front of the house, which will, even though the remodel is all in the back, it's great you're taking advantage of the opportunity. You get a contractor out there and update the front of the house, clean it up, add some curb appeal. It's going to be great.
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
It's a lovely
Oh,
design.
Vice Chair Davis.
Well, that's okay. It's a lovely design. It's going to be an improvement to the neighborhood. And with that, I will make a motion to approve, where'd it go? Approve the resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Millbrae approving a design review permit application to allow a 180 square foot addition to an existing second story and an interior remodel resulting in a total proposed floor area of 2970 square feet, and a conditional use permit application to extend the existing non-conforming upper story side setbacks in single-family residential R1 zoning district at 211 Willow Avenue.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Before we vote, I did want to just say something about something I feel like I noticed on this project in terms of what it was trying to do to meet the letter of the code, showing that the garage, even though it's functionally a one-car garage, has the square footage of a two-car garage. And, the note I saw noted in the staff report and in the applicant's proposal that they're planning for the attached ADU in order to meet the 55% FAR requirement. So it does feel like the project applicant is trying to do and show things to meet the letter of our code, which to me suggests that there's something to think about as we're updating the objective design standards, that we're not creating these that we have maybe a little bit more flexibility in order to meet the code, so that the project isn't doing certain things in order to just meet the letter of what's required in the code. Any other discussion, or are we ready, or shall we vote?
I do.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner
Yeah,
Quigg.
does the motion have to include those couple of little things that we discussed, like changing that page should just show one-car garage and somebody else? And the setback corrections, do we have to include that in the motion?
No,
Okay.
those are unrelated to the findings. We can still make the findings without that, but we will keep that in mind for when the applicant submits for building permits.
Make sure it's correct. Perfect.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, can we do the vote, please?
Commissioner Quigg,
Yes.
Commissioner Choi,
Yes.
Commissioner Wong,
Yes.
Vice Chair Davis,
Yes.
Chair Chan.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. The action of the Planning Commission is considered final pending a 10-day appeal period and payment of the required appeal fee. For anyone that wishes to appeal the decision of the Planning Commission, please contact the city clerk at etran@ci.millbrae.ca.us. Under new business on the agenda, there are no items. Next on the agenda is staff updates.
Yes, thanks. Chair Chan, a few updates tonight. Last week, the city council held a study session on the objective design standards, and we received some feedback And the next step for that project is to, we're going to take all the feedback that we received in the community workshops, the study sessions, and then the consultant will be preparing a draft of the standards. The consultant will also hold, along with the city, will hold an open house on the draft standards before goes through the process. So there'll be an opportunity to review that and to get input on them before it gets formally recommended to the planning commission and then forwarded again to the council. We don't have a date for that yet, but it'll be sometime in the spring. Also, just last week, recently, we received the results of the MTC grant that the city applied for. We received $300,000 for the parking management, and that money will go towards updating the city's standards in the specific plans, downtown and El Camino specific plan, in the Millbrae Station area specific plan, as well as any zoning code amendments and general plan amendments to update our parking policies and standards that would meet the TOC standards. Also, a portion of that would also go towards the parking management plan, any change orders that would result from that. So that's exciting. And then lastly, the next planning commission meeting on March 3rd will be canceled due to a lack of items. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, next on our agenda is the planning commissioner announcements. Any announcements from members of the planning commission? All right. With
Quiet
that-
month.
Sorry, Commissioner Quigg?
No, just said quiet month.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we've reached the end of our agenda. So we will be adjourning. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
Congratulations for 211.